What is going on, Weekend Hangover crew? This is your boy Preach bringing you another episode. Today's episode, we're going to talk about the Tennessee Titan quarterback situation and the benching of Marcus Mariota. Yes, if you have not heard, Marcus Mariota will not be the starting quarterback in Sunday's game against the Chargers. It looks like it's going to be Ryan Tannehill. Now, a couple of things I want to talk about on Marcus Mariota is he is still pretty young. He is 25 years old. I think he still has a lot of work. I think he's just not given enough opportunity. Um, Now he is not a big touchdown guy. He's pretty much a game manager type quarterback. Now his QB, his not QB, his completion percentage is not that bad. It is a bunch of 62s thrown in there and a 68. Now this year he is working with a 59% completion percentage. Now he also has 7 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, which isn't bad. Like I said, not a big touchdown guy, but he also has been sacked 25 times already in this season, which to me is the issue with this team. Just because he's been sacked outside of his rookie year, and last year he was sacked 38 times his rookie year, 42 times his last year, and his other 2 seasons he was only sacked 23 times and 27 times. Like I said, he's already been sacked 25 times this year. It looks like he's about to eclipse those numbers already. Now, even when Ryan Tannehill came in, he got sacked 4 times in that short amount of time. So to me personally, Vrabel, instead of trying to bench Marcus Mariota and trying to do a quick fix, I think you should work on that offensive line. I think that is the issue with this team right at this moment because that defense is pretty solid. You do have an okay running back in Travis Henry, but to me personally, nothing can happen. The running game can't happen. Your quarterback's not getting enough time because of that offensive line. Now, you do still have some time before the trade deadline to make a couple of trades. The only big name that I really could think of off the top of my head that is out there on the trade block, well, quote unquote trade block, we're saying that we're not going to trade him, is Trent Williams. I would try to make a huge push for him just to help bolster that offensive line and then look into the draft and try to get a couple of pieces. Another thing is, what weapons does Marcus Mariota really have? He has, I believe, his biggest target is Dion Lewis. As you know, Dion Lewis is a running back. He doesn't have too many weapons out there. Even through his career, he hasn't had too many big weapon wide receivers. Yes, they have drafted a couple. They just haven't worked out. I blame that on the draft department. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. To me personally, you can also make a couple of moves at wide receiver, see what else is out there on the trade block. But more importantly to me is that offensive line so you can get Travis Henry running and Marcus Mariota or Ryan Tannehill enough time in that pocket. Now, a difference between the two is basically you're just jumping up in age. They have similar stats. Like, literally, their stats are identical to each other. Only difference is Mariota's 25 and Ryan Tannehill is 30. Now, to me personally, I would rather stick with the young guy. But like I said, Vrabel just is in a hot seat. He took over a playoff caliber team, and they really have not been that since he has taken over. It doesn't look like they're going to be that again this year. So I personally think now they're going to have to either move on from Ryan Tannehill or Vrabel's going to be pretty much out the door. So with that being said, a couple of teams that I think Marcus Mariota could go to. One is the Pittsburgh Steelers because we don't know what's happening with the Big Ben situation. Yes, he'll be returning this year, but we don't know since he is up there in age. We don't know if he's going to retire anytime soon. And Marcus Mariota being 25, he could sit behind him, learn a couple of things, and then take over that team. Another one is the Bears. I believe that would be a really good spot for him. He'll be taking over a better team, better offensive line, not by much, but a better offensive line and better weapons on that team. yes, I do understand you have Mitchell Trubisky there, and you quote unquote love him. I personally think he could be a better quarterback than Mitchell Trubisky because he does. I believe he reads the defense a little bit more and doesn't like turning the ball over. Um, but that's a tricky situation because I mean they're both pretty young quarterbacks, so they both have a huge learning curve ahead of them. Um, and the other one is the Broncos, which another quarterback isn't getting up there in age with Joe Flacco. He can learn a thing or two behind Flacco and then take over that team in a couple of years. But that's also another team that needs to build their offensive line. Um, but like I said, with all that being said, just letting you guys know that he is not the starting quarterback anymore. And if you have any comments, throw it down in the comment section below. And if you like the video, please throw a thumbs up. And if you want to be a part of the Weekend Hangover crew, subscribe to us. And until the next video, peace.